Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for following me. If you're not new here, thanks for coming back. I know I've been gone a minute. It's not intentional. I have every intention to want to make videos, to want to vlog. It's just number one, time. Number two, sometimes there's not really content to create. So I give it up to those that actually do this for a living because it's not as easy as it looks. Yeah, so anyway, today I've decided that I am going to make a video about my Bali trip and the planning that went into it, because I did it myself. Yes, I planned our Bali trip all by myself. I didn't use an agent because, child, let me tell you, those agency fees couldn't be me. So if you're interested in seeing how I planned my trip, more or less how much we spent, what I actually did to plan the trip and everything in between, stay tuned. This video is for you. Okay, this lighting is so much better. Okay, so first things first, right? I was very apprehensive planning a trip on my own because, number one, I've never done it before. I have been out of the country before, but every time I've been out of the country, it was with my mom, and she literally did all the planning. And by that I mean she got an agent to do everything. So whenever we've been out of the country, whenever my mom has been out of the country, she solely believed in having an agency plan everything for you. So I had this preconceived notion that you know, when you're planning a trip overseas, it's just easy to put it in the hands of somebody else just in case something goes wrong, you know. And yeah, my mother was exactly the same. Like, she just, number one, it's lots of work. It is a lot of work. And sometimes I can kind of more or less see why these agencies charge what they do. But I was not prepared, and we were not prepared to pay 50K for two people to go on holiday. I'm sorry. It's not realistic. So this is what happened. Okay, so number one, I did a lot of research. Okay, I kind of sort of knew exactly where I wanted to go, and that was Bali. I've always wanted to go to Bali. I have actually previously planned a trip with my cousins to go to Bali a couple of years ago. COVID hit, the agency took our deposit, we didn't get it back, and the rest is history. So I always knew at the back of my head or mind, Bali is the place I want to go. And I said to my fiance, let's do Bali. Actually, let me not say that. I said to my fiance, let's go to Bali. And yeah, I actually had three places in mind. I wanted to do Zanzibar, Mauritius, and Bali was the third option. Now, I've been to Zanzibar and I've been to Mauritius, and the only reason why I considered those two is because my fiance had never been. So, I mean, also, I went like years ago, so I'm sure that it would have developed more and there would be more things to do now, considering the time that has passed. But I was kind of dead set on doing Bali. So what I did was I contacted the agency that I was familiar with. Why is my hair doing this? I contacted the agency that I was familiar with, and I asked them to please give me quotes and comparisons for the three options that I wanted to do. Okay. This lady sent me the three quotations for the three places. I was not prepared for the 49K that I saw there for two people. I'm like, what am I paying 49,000 Rand for? And also, where these agencies get you is that, let me just give you one tip as someone that has traveled before. Don't take an all board option when you're going to a hotel, because you are going to a foreign place, you want to experience everything about this foreign place, right? You don't want to be confined to a hotel and the food that they give there. So unless your whole intention is just to relax and go and stay at the hotel and not do anything, which is kind of boring, because then why are you there in the first place? But anyway, to each his own. Yeah, don't take the full board option, guys. Yeah, all your food is included, but it just defeats the purpose of visiting another country, experiencing their foods, their cultures, their different things that's going on there in the island or wherever it is that you're going. So yeah, don't take, that's where they get you. Full board also is number one, it's more expensive. Number two, not everybody always has breakfast, lunch, and supper. And you are restricted to certain times that you eat. And it's just, it wasn't for me. Maybe it's for you, and that's okay. But I would suggest don't get full board. Okay. Okay. Anyway, before I go blabbering on about, this is what I did. So I will say, it takes a lot of work and a lot of research into planning a trip. Okay. And obviously, if you're looking for something budget friendly, if you're looking for something that caters to your needs, if you're looking for something specific, it takes a lot of research. So what I did, first things first, was look for flights. Okay, so now I already had Bali in my head, that I know that is the place I wanted to go. So I literally started looking for our flights like for a month. Every single day I went on and I checked the flights and I checked the price and I compared different agencies and different airlines and whatnot. And I will say the one mistake I made was, and this I only found out after the fact, right? After we had already booked our flights. I found out that when you are looking for flights, always make sure when you go onto the website, go incognito. Because once the website tracks that you are looking for flights and you're coming on and off, it kind of sort of gauges, okay, this person is looking to travel here. We're going to start upping our prices every time they log back in. So then I kind of picked that up, and I also picked it up in a vlog that I watched of another couple that also traveled. And the guy said, listen guys, when you book flights, every time you log into a website for flights, go incognito. So every time you're logging in as a new person, and therefore the prices won't get you. So when I started seeing, okay, the prices are keep going up, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna book. So I knew I kind of sort of knew what dates I wanted to go, because I saw, okay, the rainy season kind of sort of ends like in March, but still it's extremely hot. The sun does come out during the day, you get flash rain, and then it will stop, and then sun will come out. So I didn't really mind the rain. And also the flights are a bit cheaper because it's not as, jam-packed Bali like it is in their drier seasons. So when you're booking your flights to Bali, consider the weather, because when it is rainy, it is somewhat cheaper. And yeah, just shop around with prices, but always make sure you go incognito when you're looking for your flights every time you log in. And I eventually ended up booking our flights on Flight Center, and we paid for the two of us. We went on the 8th of March, we flew back the 15th of March, and we paid return 22K. I'm rounding it off. I can't tell you the exact amount, but it was, let's say, 22K. And I will say that is a bargain, because when I looked again, the flights were like 15K per person, and 15K per person, that's like 30K, and that was our whole holiday that we spent in Bali. So Just a tip for you guys in booking your flights. Okay, next thing, accommodation. Booking.com and Agoda is your best friend. Now, I've used Booking.com before, okay? I hadn't used Agoda before, so I was a bit apprehensive because I wasn't familiar with the app, and I didn't quite know how they worked and everything. But again, research, guys, research, and watching people's vlogs are your best friend, because people put a lot of information in their vlogs, in their travel vlogs. So that's more or less where I got all my information from, is watching people's vlogs and their travel stories and their travel diaries on YouTube. That is where I got most of my information. So um when I researched, right, accommodation, I knew from all the research that I did, that Bali is a fairly big island, and a lot of the areas are quite far from each other. So more or less an hour and a half drive from each other. So I knew that it's not going to make sense staying in one area and then traveling from that one area, because that's going to cost us an arm and a leg, and transport is expensive, especially when you have a private driver. So what I did was I made sure that I booked a hotel that was close to the beach, and then I booked a hotel that was inland. I will put the hotels in the video here, and I'll link it in the thing below where we stayed. So the first place we stayed in was in Kuta Beach. Look, I will say the beach is not that well taken care of. It's not really a swimming kind of beach. You need to go more Nusa Dua side and Canggu side if you want to like have a beachy kind of experience. But we just stayed there because it was convenient, and there was like almost just about everything around the area. So we just wanted to experience the beach side and also the party side. But because we went around the time where they had like their spiritual celebrations, they had a day of silence, and that kind of took a day away from us. And that day of silence meant like nobody was allowed to do anything, go anywhere. You are confined to your hotel. So unfortunately we had a day wasted, but nonetheless we still enjoyed ourselves at the hotel. But I think where we had the most fun was in Ubud, which was the second place where we stayed, and that is more inland, which is like an hour and a half drive from Kuta. So when you're booking, make sure you book at least 2 different places so that you can experience those different places and then travel from there onwards. So we had a private driver, and his name was Pitso. Actually, he is the uncle of the guy that I initially booked with, whose name was Mandla. Because he has so many South African clients, they gave them those names. So Pitso was so nice. He really took us wherever we went, and he waited wherever we went to. So if we went to the waterfalls, he waited there for us. Didn't matter how long we took, he waited. He had water waiting for us when we came back, because it's really hot there. And yeah, and look, transport wise, I would suggest having a private driver. But also there are Gojeks and Grabs, which is like the Ubers of Bali. So which is also a lot less expensive. It's more inexpensive. So yeah, if you guys prefer taking like Ubers, that's fine. But I think we spent most of our money on our private driver, and we didn't mind it because he like literally knew Bali inside out, and we preferred to have somebody like that that could show us around and take us all the places that we wanted to go. So yeah, if you're booking accommodation, Agoda is your friend. You get 10% discount on your first booking, and also just kind of shop around. Like, they've got beautiful hotels. Like, the hotels we stayed in was absolutely amazing. We got breakfast and that was it, and it was fine with us because we wanted to go and eat out and try different things and try different restaurants, and there's a lot to do there. So I just suggest booking 2 different hotels in 2 different areas. There's lots of areas there. There's Canggu, Seminyak, Nusa Dua, Nusa Penida, Ubud. Ubud was my favorite. Like, that was just my favorite. But yeah, it's up to you. Do your research and then you can decide from there. Okay, so the thing I touched on already a little bit was transport. We had Pitso as our driver. He was absolutely amazing. I will actually put his WhatsApp number down for you in the description box below. And he's so nice. Actually, Bali people as a whole are just absolutely amazing people. They are so spiritual and they just believe in the goodness of things in life, if I want to put it that way. Yeah, he's such a nice person. He takes you everywhere you want to go, and I think he charged us maybe 700 rand, like rands, for the whole day to take us wherever we wanted to go. And for me, I think that's a bargain because we knew exactly where we wanted to go, and he knew the island inside out. So he will tell you exactly what you can do there, what is not allowed, where you should go, is it a good place to go to, where it is where you want to go, and things like that. So yeah, I would suggest booking Pitso. He did tell us when we left that please refer him to the South African people that are planning on going to Bali, and that is exactly what I'm doing now. So please, if you guys are planning to go there, contact Pitso. He's the greatest. You can say we referred him because he knows us, and yeah, it's great. When we do plan on going back again, we're not too sure when, but we are definitely going back again, and we are definitely going to use Pitso as our driver again. Okay, so next thing that I was quite skeptical about because I read up about it so many times and I just wasn't sure, a visa for Bali. Now, you do not need a visa to enter the country. And when I say that, I mean like before you even get there, you don't need a visa. You get a visa on arrival. So when you land, literally before you even go and fetch your luggage, you go through a section of the airport where there are different tolls, and you have to buy your visa there for the 30 days that you are going to be there or less. And obviously, if you're staying more than 30 days, then you would need to extend your visa. So our visa cost us about 600 rand in our money, which is literally nothing because if you're going to Europe, you're gonna pay out of your ass for a visa. So yeah, guys, you can book online, but I just chose to do it on arrival because why am I stressing myself out trying to book something online when I'm going to do it anyway when I get there? So yeah, visa on arrival, 600 rand a person. Depending on when you're going, it might go up, I don't know. But when we went 3 months ago, our visa cost us 600 rand per person. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is cell phone connection. So literally, once you get to the airport and you've collected your bag, you've done your visa, you've done immigration and everything, you walk out of the airport, and just as you're about to exit, like luggage and customs, you get this long line of foreign exchange and SIM cards and things like that. We got like maybe 20 gigs of data SIM card for I think 300 rand, and if I'm going to be very honest with you, it was a waste of money because where we went to, everywhere had Wi-Fi. I think the only time we didn't have Wi-Fi where we needed to use our phone was when we went to the waterfall and when we were driving in the car to go to our destinations. But literally in our hotel, you have Wi-Fi 24/7. When you go to a restaurant, there's Wi-Fi there. So unless you just don't really care to spend that money, I would say don't get a SIM card. But I also don't want you to be inconvenienced. So if you feel like it's an inconvenience not to have data on hand all the time, get the SIM card. I mean, nothing's gonna fall off your back. But just personally, if I look back now, I would have done differently. I wouldn't have gotten the SIM card at all. And try and get the lowest data amount, because you're literally not going to need 50 gigs of data. Also, depending how long you're going, because we only went for a week. And honestly, we couldn't even check how much data we had left when we left the country. So yeah, I personally feel like it's a waste of time, waste of money. But if you feel like you need to have data on hand all the time, kudos to you. You're more than welcome to do that. But yeah, I think we spent just about 200 rand, 300 rand or so to get our 30 gigs, 20 gigs of data. So in terms of food and stuff, restaurants, Bali is filled with westernized restaurants. So don't think you're going to go to Bali and it's just going to be restaurants of their culture and their food. They have a lot of warungs, which is their kind of like restaurants where they serve their cultural food meals. And then, like I say, you get a lot of westernized places. Like we went to Jamie Oliver restaurant there. They have their McDonald's and KFCs there as well, which is really cool because like their stuff is completely different to what it is here in South Africa. Yeah, and it's just there's Starbucks. There's like literally there's restaurants for days. So you have options for days. You're not going to go wrong there. The one thing I do want to mention is you are not allowed to drink the water at all. You will get a runny tummy. And luckily for us, I was very paranoid because I have a very sensitive stomach. And I just didn't want to mess up because I just wanted, I've watched videos and stuff where people have had really bad experiences and just it ruined the whole trip, and I didn't want that for me. So I made sure we buy bottles on top of bottles of water. There is literally a supermarket on every single corner in Bali, and it's called Circle K. There's another one. What's it called now again? Shit, I forgot what it's called. I think it's called Kmart or something like that. Circle K and Kmart. Those are your best friends. They have all kinds of snacks and Chinese noodles and chocolates and sweets and chips. And I bought quite a few snacks and stuff from there throughout the days that we were there. And then I brought some home for my nieces as well. So yeah, their stuff is very inexpensive. And yeah, I will let you guys know in the next section how much we more or less spent on the entire trip. Okay, so last but not least, our entire trip came to, I'm gonna say, just about maybe 30K for the both of us. And that is just flights and accommodation, which I think is an absolute bargain, because Bali in general is not a very expensive place. Like if you go to, for example, Jameli in Sandton, I think you're going to spend more there than you are going to spend at a restaurant in Bali. Obviously, depending on whether it's a Michelin star restaurant, obviously you're going to pay more money. But yeah, if you're just going to a normal restaurant, something that's nice, Instagram worthy, I think you're just gonna spend maybe 300 rand per person, or not even, maybe less than that, 250 rand per person for your meal and your drinks. But yeah, Bali is a very inexpensive place. A lot of people say Thailand is very inexpensive, and I've never been to Thailand personally. But I honestly think that if you are planning on going to Bali, it's it's a very nice place to go to. Number one, it's very hot there. Whether it's raining or shining, it's hot. And I just think in general, like I think the most we spent on was maybe our trip to Mount Putua and our driver. That's what we spent most of our money on. And I can't really say how much we spent like on our food and drinks and driving. Can't remember, honestly. But we did a lot of stuff, and we didn't even do everything. There are so many things to do there that we want to go back and experience more places and do more things. So yeah. Also, like I mentioned in the beginning, just watch a lot of people's vlogs, guys. Like if there's something that I may not have mentioned today, um, you will find just about everything that you are looking for in these people's vlogs and stuff like that. Also, if you haven't seen my Bali vlog, go back and watch it. I don't think I have anything else more to say other than that it was a beautiful place. I've absolutely loved every single minute of it. We speak about it almost every other day. Myself and my fiance tell each other we want to go back there, and we probably are going to go back there. Hopefully sooner rather than later, but I am planning on going to another place. I'm kind of sort of doing my research now already so that when the time comes to book, then I know everything that I need to know about this place. But it's a bit more complicated to get there than Bali was. But yeah. And I think that's all for me. Thank you for watching. I hope I didn't miss anything. And yeah, like I said, I'll insert the places that we went to, um, the restaurants we went to, and the hotels we stayed at, and. But yeah, please come back and watch my next video or vlog, whatever it may be. And thank you for watching.